Find us online at triprealty.com or come on by our office in downtown Carrollton and get started today.
James O'Neill Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram is a family-owned and operated dealership serving West Georgia and East Alabama and supporting high school sports since the doors opened in 1990. Whether it's sales, service, parts, or financing, we're here for all your automotive needs. As the service and satisfaction winner for the past 8 years and the #1 Ram dealer for the past 16 years, it's guaranteed that there's no deal like an O'Neill deal. If you can't make it out to see us, we'll deliver a unit straight to your doorstep. So give us a call today or visit us online at o'neilldodge.com, where we make the buying experience easy.
Since 2005, Caliber One Construction has provided the highest level of quality, integrity, and satisfaction in every aspect of their company, while empowering their employees to address the ongoing needs of their clients in an ever-changing environment through a passionate work ethic and innovative spirit. Founders Jeannie and Chris Elliott have made a commitment to customer service and customer satisfaction. That's why Caliber One Construction goes by the motto HYPE, how you prepare every day. Caliber One Construction, proud partners of WGTV and WGTV Sports.
Inception Energy Solutions specializes in utility construction and maintenance, including distribution, substations, underground and overhead, and control wiring. They have a federal approved and accredited apprenticeship program working in 9 states across the Southeast. If you're looking for an exciting career like former Blue Devil Brody Doss or Trevor Roberts, give Jerry Pounds or Hillary a call at 404-783-8646. Also, check them out online at inceptionsolutions.com. So join the over 70 employees that have made IES their home. That's Inception Energy Solutions.
Since 1985, Osier Apparel has been a leading provider of custom apparel, specializing in corporate wear, custom t-shirts, and spirit wear. As a family-run business with over 3 decades of experience, they have established a reputation for delivering quality products and exceptional customer service to their clients. Choose Osier Apparel for all your custom needs.
Are you looking for a car, a truck, or maybe one of those popular Jeeps? Look no further. James O'Neill Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has been serving the West Georgia area for over 25 years, providing one of the largest inventories of quality trucks, cars, and SUVs in the region means you're guaranteed to find the model and trim which best suits your lifestyle. Once you settle on the perfect vehicle, meet with their team of finance experts. They can help secure you the terms and rate which best fits your lifestyle. Remember, there's no deal like an O'Neill deal. That's James O'Neill, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Bremen.
316 Family Medicine, located in Bremen and Carrollton, offers a variety of services to meet your family's healthcare needs. Their experienced providers, nurses, and healthcare professionals are dedicated to making your healthcare experience the best possible. They offer acute care, urgent care, preventative care, chronic disease management, as well as specialized services including pediatrics, sports physicals, home visits, and much more. Call to schedule an appointment today at 770-537-1234 or visit them online at 316familymedicine.us. 316 Family Medicine, a fresh approach to healthcare.
Old Fashioned Hardware Store. That's the best way to describe Messer Hardware of Bowden, Georgia. Remember when a person greeted you at the door and provided quality information and service? Or when salespeople were knowledgeable about hardware, plumbing, electrical, paint, and agricultural products? Take it further back. How about when lawn and garden seeds were scooped from bulk containers? At Messer Hardware, the best parts of the past are alive, well, and at the center of our business philosophy. We pride ourselves on offering the old-fashioned hardware store experience you grew up with. That's Messer Hardware.
Welcome in to the Inception's Energy Solutions post-game show powered by 316 Healthcare. I'm your host, Coach Kel Singleton. Welcome into Week 6 of high school football in the West Georgia area. Great games all around as usual. The game of the week was Temple Bowden, which was a great one if you were there or if you were streaming it live. And we want to give a shout out to the people that streamed it. Had a lot of views, had a lot of comments. We like those interactions, so we want to continue to see that grow down the road. But 2 backyard rivals going out at it, and it was a pretty great game. I think we'll get into the highlights later, but at halftime, this game was only 21-6, and I think a lot of people had predicted it to be a lot worse than it was. So when Tom and Stitcher get here in a little bit, we'll talk more about that game and go into the depths of it. Pretty sure we'll have some people by today. We'll give a shout out to Sam's House Barbecue. They'll be here in a little bit, bringing us some good food. Another sponsor you'll see right here on the front of the computer. This is actually my dad and I's company. I help my dad run All Seasons Roofing. So if you ever need anything, call that number on front. We'll get out there. We do residential. We do commercial. We do the whole 9 yards. So give us a call if you need something. But thank you to all our other sponsors, as we always say. And we'll dive right into these scores real quick. Mountain Zion, the last thing I had saw with Mountain Zion, I don't know if it was a final yet, but they were up at Jasper County, and the Eagles were down 35-0. So once again, for week 2, it didn't look like it was going well for Mountain Zion offensively. So we'll see what that final ends up being after we get back here in a little bit. Villa-Rica, a lot of people, we talked on the pregame show earlier today. I had watched some film on Banneker, and Banneker's a really athletic, explosive team. And in Villa-Rica's region, they have a lot of teams that are at that caliber, but Banneker's a little bit better coached than a lot of those teams in that region. And I knew, if anybody, with it being homecoming and all those things tonight, that Banneker would be the one that would sneak in and almost get a win. And VR went toe-to-toe with them and actually got by at the end and come up with the win 13-10 against Banneker. So if anybody watching has any other details on that game, please feel free to comment, shoot us something, and we'll highlight that game a little bit more. Bremen, if I'm not mistaken, the final in that game was 21-14, a lot closer ball game than that should have been. Ridgeland in the past, I guess it'd be about 3 or 4 years ago, they had a pretty legit powerhouse program. I think they ended up going to a state championship, but over the last 2.5 years or so, they've been down. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think they've won any games. So Bremen should have walked the dog on them. Could have been the trip. That's a horrible trip to make up there, almost in Tennessee. So first long trip on the road for Temple. My bad. Bremen. That could have affected them tonight, but who cares? Win's a win, and they come up 21-14, the second region win for them. Carrollton, same. So 40, I think it was 42-0 at half. So they ended up winning 49-0 tonight over Hillgrove. So another big win for the Trojans. They continue to move forward to hopefully making it back to the state championship. Hurd finally gets the first win against Clarkston. Any Hurd County fans that can elaborate a little more on Hurd and how they've done, please let us know. If you got any shout outs to players, things like that, we'd love to see it on here in our comment section. But the funny part about the Hurd County game, the way that started, word was Clarkston pulled up right before kickoff and basically put their stuff on and started playing the game. So if that tells you anything about how Hurd County come up victorious tonight, 37-6. So it's great to see them get their first win tonight down in Hurd County. Central was off, and they're looking to go battle Cedartown next week, and we'll probably talk about that more in the show. And another sleeper that I had that came up just a little bit short in their first region play tonight was Haralson County. They were toe-to-toe with Murray County tonight for a long time, and Murray County kind of pulled away in the end and ended up winning 28-16. So congrats to Haralson County on a great effort. I thought Murray had them outgunned, but I was hoping Haralson was going to come up with that upset. But they're still searching for their first win. We know they'll get it. And, if you're a Haralson County fan, you look back at all those scores. A lot of these games have been close for the longest, and then they've kind of let it slip away at the end. So you're hoping that they can put together that full game to end up being successful and getting their first win of the season in a region. So we'll look forward to keeping up with them next week and going from there. First thing I want to say before we go to break here in a little bit, when Stitcher and Tom get here, Temple Bowden game. That was the one we were at. That was our game of the week. Coming into this game, everybody thought Bowden was going. The score ended up being big at the end, but I knew if there was anybody in the area that could play with them, if they believed in themselves, it would have been Temple, because they could match them athlete for athlete, in my opinion. And told people on the pregame show, I knew this because I coached a lot of those kids, middle school, high school, when I was coaching at Temple. So they fought that first half. It was 21-6, and Temple actually shot themselves in the foot. Could have scored inside the 5 and got stopped early. So that ball game could have been 21-14. Actually, could have been 14-14, because when they scored on that reverse play, they come back and tried to sneak one on Bowden on an onside kick, and they probably kicked it to the most athletic human in the stadium, Caden Prothrow, and that was all she wrote. And that kind of like took the spark for that momentum that Temple had moving forward. But one of the biggest things I will say, I'm glad that the game left and it wasn't the same result as last year. Although it got chippy in ways, we wouldn't expect any less, but it was a classier game than it ended last year. And I thank you, both coaching staffs, for doing that. That was my key point to this game tonight, and it was good to see that. And it was actually a great football game to watch, and until we started complaining about noisemakers in the stands, and that ended up causing probably Stitcher and them about a 10-minute commercial break because they're trying to find the one red horn in the stand that student section has and Bowden's been using all year. But the Temple side was complaining about that, and then after that, Bowden started complaining about that, so it just turned into a whole kind of sloppy-ish finish, in my opinion, watching it. But pretty sure everybody got out healthy. I know some kids looked like they were banged up a little bit. But both teams will now continue their season and getting closer to that region play, considering, both teams have small regions. So they still got a few more games they got to tackle before they get to that point. But for Temple, just looking at them, this was a good look for, kind of what they're going to get in region, playing tougher opponents. So hopefully they find the positives out of this. And, they came out hot, 3-0, and then they've dropped 3 real quick. Obviously, that has a lot to do with the opponents that they're playing. They had a bunch of gimmies at the beginning, and they've played some well-coached football teams that have tradition the last 3 weeks. So you kind of see where they need to work on things. And towards the end of that game, they could have gave up, but it was good to see that those kids didn't quit. They got a score late and tried to get something going. So that was something positive that you could build on moving forward as you get closer to region. So they have to be happy about that. And a lot of the stuff I seen too, they faced some adversity tonight. They didn't let it beat them completely down. And a few of those kids, I call them my babies, CJ, Manny, Freddie, who's coming off ACL, McAnallen, Jace, Tripp, Big Mike, all of them. Very proud to see them tonight playing hard and not giving up and finishing for all 4 quarters. So definitely tip my cap to them and their effort they had against Bowden. As far as Bowden, for me, and I'll get Tom and them's opinion when they come back in a minute, I thought Bowden got sloppy. I didn't think this was Bowden's best game. They were more relying on a big play rather than sustaining drives and moving the football to win football games, because when they get to these tougher opponents down the road in the playoffs and things like that, they can't sit there and rely on, cross our fingers, Caden hits it for 60 yards for a touchdown, or Kyler runs quarterback counter and hits it for 90 for a touchdown and gets us out of trouble. They're going to play against a Sly County or somebody like that that's very athletic like themselves and well-coached and well-disciplined and more well-rounded ball team than like for tonight's game, and that stuff's not going to work. So they're going to have to get it going again on offense. Temple scored in a few drives. The one was a little trick play that was drawn up, but they got to clean up some stuff for me offensively. And special teams in the kicking game one time, I don't know about it, but there's some stuff that's got to be built if they want to repeat. And I'm sure all the coaches out there will tell you how hard it is to even consider being back in a state championship game, but to repeat, it's even harder. So Bowden's definitely got to go back to the drawing board and just clean up everything as far as offense, defense, special teams, fine-tune all that stuff and get it ready for region play that's coming up down the road. So hopefully they'll do that and they'll get more successful, but definitely need to see some more out of offense. And it sounds like that's the same result for a lot of these schools, that you're seeing the scores as they move closer into region or if they've started region. But this one tonight, I had my eyes on this game, and I think the kids did a good job. I saw a lot of stuff. We talked last year, they got chippy, but I was very proud to see sportsmanship, other teams helping each other up and stuff like that. So that was good to see tonight, and like I said, it was a good game to be involved with, except it got sloppy at the end. But we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be back. When we get here, we'll talk with Tom and Stitcher. We'll talk about what their view was on the game. Hopefully we can get a little more results on these other games, have a little info to give you on those. Or if you have any info, let us know, please. And we'll talk about it, and maybe like a Bremen fan, for example, why was that Ridgeland game so close? We were predicting about 4 touchdown, victory in that side of it, but that didn't happen. Villarica, same example. Everybody's saying VR was about to run Banneker out of the building, and sounds like either they were still doing their homecoming parade or homecoming king or something. I don't know what was going on. So somebody needs to let us know about that game. Heard we knew what was going to happen, and then Mountain Zion, if y'all got anything for us, please let us know. But we'll recap these scores some more, talk more about our game of the week, and we'll be back after we run around the block here and pay some bills.
Old-fashioned hardware store. That's the best way to describe Messer Hardware of Bowden, Georgia. Remember when a person greeted you at the door and provided quality information and service? Or when salespeople were knowledgeable about hardware, plumbing, electrical, paint, and agricultural products? Take it further back. How about when lawn and garden seeds were scooped from bulk containers? At Messer Hardware, the best parts of the past are alive, well, and at the center of our business philosophy. We pride ourselves on offering the old-fashioned hardware store experience you grew up with. That's Messer Hardware of Bowden, Georgia.
Located on 30 Dot Road in Bowden, Aryan Farm and Ranch Supply opened their doors in April of this year. With backyard gardening essentials as their main focus, there is so much more at Aryan Farm and Ranch Supply. They also serve as a full-scale farm supplier, and there's even some fencing options you can choose from. So stop by Aryan Farm and Ranch Supply today for some free coffee and all of your farming needs.
Whitley's Forestry Mulching and Skid Steer Service is your go-to for all your mulching, brush cutting, trenching, grading, excavator services, and more. Open in 2018, Ryan and his team have made a commitment for customer service and satisfaction. For all your mulching and skid steer needs, give Ryan and his team a call. It's 678-378-0683. That's 678-378-0683. Whitley's Forestry Mulching and Skid Steer Services in Bowden.
If you're looking for some of the best lemonade in West Georgia, Steve and his crew at Incredible Pope Lemonade are serving up sunshine by the cup. With an extensive menu that includes strawberry, cherry lemonade, and watermelon, the menu also boasts a peach mango lemonade with natural peach puree stirred in the mix. If you are looking for your own cup of sunshine, give them a call or follow their Facebook page at Incredible Pope Lemonade.
316 Family Medicine, located in Bremen and Carrollton, offers a variety of services to meet your family's healthcare needs. Their experienced providers, nurses, and healthcare professionals are dedicated to making your healthcare experience the best possible. They offer acute care, urgent care, preventative care, chronic disease management, as well as specialized services including pediatrics, sports physicals, home visits, and much more. Call to schedule an appointment today at 770-537-1234 or visit them online at 316familymedicine.us. 316 Family Medicine, a fresh approach to healthcare.
If you're thinking about selling or investing in your own piece of rural real estate, Cal Hardy with Arrowhead Land Company is the hardest working rural real estate specialist in Georgia. Arrowhead Land Company is a premier real estate brokerage company who has burst onto the scene nationally because of its hard working agents, cutting edge marketing, and grassroots values. Whether you're a hunter, farmer, rancher, or someone who appreciates the country lifestyle, give Cal a call today at 770-296-2163 to assist with all of your real estate needs.
With over 25 years real estate experience, we dedicate ourselves to doing business the right way all the time. Hi, I'm Tony Tritt, co-owner of Tritt Realty, a premier real estate brokerage serving Georgia and Alabama. Whether you're a first-time buyer, a seasoned investor or builder, or maybe you're relocating to our area to embark on a new opportunity, we want to lock arms and guide you seamlessly through the entire real estate process from start to finish. We want to become your lifetime real estate partner. Find us online at TrittRealty.com or come on by our office in downtown Carrollton and get started today.
James O'Neill Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram is a family-owned and operated dealership serving West Georgia and East Alabama and supporting high school sports since the doors opened in 1990. Whether it's sales, service, parts, or financing, we're here for all your automotive needs. As the service and satisfaction winner for the past 8 years and the #1 Ram dealer for the past 16 years, it's guaranteed that there's no deal like a no-deal deal. If you can't make it out to see us, we'll deliver a unit straight to your doorstep. So give us a call today or visit us online at o'neilldodge.com, where we make the buying experience easy.
Since 2005, Caliber One Construction has provided.
We live? All right, welcome back to the Inception Energy Solutions post-game show powered by 316. We're back here, got Stitcher with me. Talk a little bit about this Temple-Bowden game here in a second, but we'll run back through. We got a final on the Mount Zion game, 42-7. So another big loss for Mount Zion. That's back-to-back weeks. Brookstone got them last week. Jasper got them this week. So I think it's kind of similar to what I was explaining earlier with Temple. I think they played some easier teams early on.
Yeah.
And then they've been tested the last 2 weeks, which kind of tells our ball club where they got to be to, compete with Bowden and those guys in region. So hopefully Mount Zion can get it cleaned up for next week. Villarica wins tonight, 13-10 against Banneker. From what you said, I guess they had a little homecoming luck on their side. They were
down 10-7 with about 5 seconds left to go, and lined up to kick a field goal to tie the game up. Bad snap, and quarterback Will Wallace just takes it in.
Wow.
Just takes it into the house. So Villarica comes out with the win on homecoming.
Well, I will say, though, like you said it when we were at commercial, sometimes it's better to be lucky.
Absolutely.
I'll take luck.
I'll take lucky better than good all day long.
But, yeah, VR, second region win now.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely they'll go back to the drawing board on that because, I think they were picked to beat Banneker. They should have willingly beat Banneker, in our opinion.
Right.
But they'll clean up that stuff and take the luck when they get it.
Yeah.
So,
and that's where we'll be next week.
Okay.
We'll have Lithia Springs at Villarica.
That'll be a good
next
ball
Friday
game,
night.
too.
It will be good.
Yep.
It sure
Cannot make those mistakes against that team because that'll be a different ball club if they play tonight. Another score that ended up being closer than we thought was the Bremen-Ridgeland game. But as I said before, we went to break. Traveling up there, goodness. When I worked at Bremen, you went to a bunch of our ball games up there when we were in AAA. That's a terrible drive.
Everywhere but Adairsville. It was an awful drive.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like you're driving forever. And then, there's a school in the middle of nowhere. But I'm thinking
and you've heard all week and everything how much better you should be.
Yeah.
And you add in the long ride, it's a perfect storm.
And freshmen.
Yeah.
Distractions.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That always happens somehow. But yeah, we'll see them. I'm pretty sure they play again next week. I'm not sure who they got, but that's their second region win. So congrats to them as well moving forward. Carrollton, like everybody's been saying, do we even need to talk about Carrollton?
No.
They just keep rolling.
The real deal.
Yeah, they have. The best way I can put it is what I've been continuously saying is they have set a standard, and that's the standard. And the Langston game, I think if they played it back, it'd be a different result right now.
Yeah.
I think the shock of losing Bryce in that game and all that kind of affected them, and I think they found their way with Kamari and Juju and the whole gang. So I would like to see that game again. Probably won't get it, but I think it'd be a whole different result.
Yeah,
but congrats to Carrollton. They keep rolling and look to get back to that state championship game and maybe getting some revenge. Herd, they got their first one tonight against Clarkston. Clarkston rolled up to the field about 7:15. Got dressed.
So let's roll.
Let's play. Roll the ball out and play.
Yeah.
So, hey, whatever works, man. But Herd come up victorious tonight. Hopefully that gives them a little bit of momentum. I also was told pregame that Swafford started tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't start Tisdale. Funny joke for you. I don't remember if you remember in 20 when Cam Vaughn first got introduced when I was coaching at Temple, nobody knew about him. And Casey asked me for a lineup sheet. Well, I knew he would say something to somebody and say, "Who is this Cam Vaughn kid?" So I made a fake sheet and turned it in. And then the first drive of the game, we come out, Coach Lee dialed it up.
Yeah.
Cam slings it to Scooter. I mean, we hit a big gain right out the gate. And he's like, "I don't have this kid. Who is it? This isn't even the lineup we got, blah, blah, blah." Well, we're sitting at – he was mad at me because I lied to him, you know. And I was like, well, it's like playing poker. I don't want to say anything. Well, tonight, during the pregame show, Billy says, "Up just now breaking." And this is 5. You walked up. It was like 5-ish or whatever. Swafford starting tonight. I said, "How do you know that?" The Herd County coaches just told Casey and them. I said, "Well, Casey and Clay, if you're listening, this is exactly why you got a fake sheet that time, because that gives about 2 hours for word to get around, and then they can make adjustments and be ready for the game." So
sounds like Clarkston wasn't tuned in.
Yeah, they weren't. They weren't listening to it. But you know, with these rivalries like Temple Bowden tonight, if it's a small town deal and you got that information, keep it in your pocket.
Absolutely,
it's better to keep it. So we got one comment before we move on here. It says, "Do you guys think Bowden has a good chance of winning another championship?" I think they do have a good chance of winning another state championship, but they better get better at sustaining drives. I was talking about that earlier before y'all came in. I think they rely tonight, to me, and you tell me, it looked sloppy sometimes. It didn't look like the Bowden was rolling. I still hadn't seen them sustain drives to win a ball game against a Sly County or somebody like that. You saw Sly last year and all that, and I think they're relying too much on the big play. You know, we're going to take top off and cross our fingers type deal, and not putting together an offensive drive.
I just think tonight, early on in the game, especially that first drive, you know, Bowden just came out and kind of looked a little sloppy, like you were saying. A fumbled handoff that they ended up losing, I believe, and just some penalties. Holding penalties. Granted, the referees enjoyed throwing the flags and everything, but, you know, they had to have seen something to cause them to do that. So, I think Bowden is capable of winning another championship. I think they've got a good chance, but Bowden's got to clean up some things as the season rolls along. They were fortunate enough tonight against a pretty good Temple team, to come out with that win. But Bowden, in order to roll and to go deep in the playoffs and everything, they need to sustain drives. They need to be able to get some stops on defense, and when they do, capitalize on those things. But another good thing is, I mean, they've got Coach Finley and Coach Head and Coach Perkins and Coach Thomas. They've got a fantastic coaching staff that can get them prepared week in and week out to do what they need to do to make another run.
And you know, I sit up here and I talk to Coach Head weekly. You know, we talk 2 or 3 times a week, and that's the little things that he'll even say that they still are trying to clean up little things to be able to build. And I said earlier, to even talk about going back to back, you know, that's really hard to do. So it's almost, there's a fine line, like you have to almost be flawless with how you're preparing offensively, players, coaches, and all to make sure that you set yourself up to succeed and get that playoff run. So, I definitely think it's possible. They got the tools to do it.
They do. They've got that. Their offensive line is relatively young compared to last year. Yeah. But those guys get better and better each week.
Yep.
And the best thing that Bowden can do is just worry about next Friday. Worry about next Friday and don't kind of look at the big picture. Take care of what's right in front of you, and those big things, those good things will just fall into place.
Yep, and I know that's what Coach Finley and definitely Coach Ed, you even said, I joke with him all the time, say, man, you're going to have another ring. Don't even talk about that.
Yep.
And that's good. I'm joking with him, obviously, but I like to pick at him, just stress him out a little bit more.
But Bowden's got that, that tough schedule, that non-region schedule, starting the year with Manchester and then Central. I mean, they're doing things the right.
Yeah.
They're playing heavy hitters coming straight out of the gate. So.
And that, last week we had a little bit of technical difficulties with our camera and stuff, and one of the questions I had on there, or just a comment to talk for viewers and all, and I was going to ask y'all's opinion on it. Scheduling easier opponents does not seem to pay off in examples like tonight's.
No.
Now, do I say go out and get a Heard County and Haralson County schedule where you just go through an absolute gauntlet of people? No. Maybe you sprinkle one in there.
Yeah.
But I definitely think that, like we said, Bowden and programs like that are seeing the benefits of it because it shows in games like tonight. They didn't play their best and still won, 42-20?
Yeah.
Against a Temple team that got guys everywhere.
And Temple came to play.
They did.
I mean, Temple to me looked better tonight than they did last week against Pepperell. If this Temple team showed up last Friday night, they beat Pepperell easy. But it's easy to get up for these big games, like when it's your rival.
That's right.
And I think, Bowden did a good job, stopping Temple's playmakers.
Yep.
But the C.J. Grays, the Mateers, the McAnallans, and even Jackson Gribben, he looked really good tonight, the sophomore quarterback.
Is he not, you played for Coach Hotsteller, is he not just the prototype quarterback? Like, when you see him at quarterback, it's like, that's a Dwight Hotsteller quarterback. I mean, you can tell Coach Hotsteller has groomed him just like his dad would have.
Last week, the Temple Pepperell game last week, that first play they ran, they lined up in the wing tee that I'm used to running, and he
got fired up.
When he got under center, man, I was hitting that table. I was like, "This is it.
Yeah,
this is it." And tonight, I mean, being back at Warren P. Sewell Field, where when I think of wing tee football, I think of that place. And to see him come under center like that, he runs that wing tee offense pretty well.
He's doing a very good job, and he's got a lot of tools around him, and that's one thing too for Temple too. I kept saying the biggest deal for them going into this game was, were they going to be front runners?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see it as bad as I think a lot of people thought it would be, because I think a lot of people it's going to be 28-0 half or whatever. They come out, got that score.
Yep.
Obviously, I said earlier I didn't agree with trying to do that kick. I would have kicked it and played defense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Bowden's explosive, but you don't kick it to the best guy in the stadium. And it's like, bang, that just took our momentum away that quick. But they let adversity get them. But the only thing I didn't like seeing was at halftime. It was like everybody was losing their minds, and it was 21-6 against Bowden.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, we are 2 plays away from being back in this thing and winning this ball game.
Yeah.
I didn't see that kind of sense of urgency. It was kind of like everybody was standing around pouting, and it's like, you're good.
Mm-hmm.
They could have went and come right out, hit them in the mouth, and turn. It could have been 21-14 before anybody blinked. So hopefully they keep building on that. And towards the end of that game, I seen them kept fighting. And in the past, you've seen where it's kind of like, all right, it's over.
Well, when Bowden came out and took that first play from scrimmage in the second half and just boom, touchdown, I told Tom when we went to commercial, I said, this is where we're going to see, what Temple does. Is their spirits broken?
Yep.
Do they lay down? And no. I mean, they tooth and nail, fight until the very end of the ball game.
Yep.
And that's what you want to see.
Yes.
And it was like you said, too, you can tell on the field that those guys they go into battle with each other and just trying their best to do everything they can to win. But it also didn't get out of hand like you see rivals do sometimes. And things like that. So, I think both teams played well. I think if Temple had capitalized on a couple of mistakes and not shot themselves in the foot, it would have been a lot closer. But, congratulations to Bowden. They did what they needed to do.
Yeah, and, one of the other little deals you look at is for Bowden winning this game, if Temple would have capitalized on that goal line play, but Bowden did a heck of a job on defense stopping them from scoring, So you can look at it both ways, but that moment right there was kind of a turning point for that game too, and the momentum.
Cameron Wright jumped on here. He said Harrelson was down 21-16 and driving the ball with 5 minutes left, then had a bad snap that North Murray scooped and scored to go up 28-16.
Holy cow.
Yeah. That's another one of those homecoming games.
God.
Yeah.
So, talking about it earlier, I kept keeping up with the score, and Harrelson, again, another chance to win it, man, and something just didn't fall their way. Heck, I guess Billy Recca took the luck on that one.
They did. They got the lucky horseshoe on the homecoming games tonight.
Yeah, but hopefully, next week they'll get one. I think they play Gordon Central next week, so I think Harrelson, they've been getting beat on for a couple of weeks. It's time for them to do the beating next week, and I have faith, especially them playing with North Murray like they did, and then hearing how it ended. They can go play with some dudes in that region, and I think they'll shock some people because
I do too.
Coach Hochstetler today on the pregame show, he said, "Who made Harrelson County's schedule?"
It's like Harrelson County's playing the SEC of Georgia high school football.
Persons, Upson Lee, he's a holy cow, Raven County. He's like, who jumped in that fire? So we talk about that. When they get in the region like tonight,
battle tested.
North Murray's supposed to be one of those tougher teams. They just went and played with them. So it's got to give them their positive.
Yeah.
We just played with one of the best teams in this region because of what we've already faced. So let's go place now, first, second, third, whatever we got to do to get into the playoffs. So it could end up well for Harrelson County moving forward. But congrats on the effort, like we always say. And I don't see anything on here about Hurd, but I'm pretty sure we can chalk up what that one was tonight. I'm curious to see if Tisdale went and got any reps or if they're going to use him, moving forward, if they're going to keep Swalford or what they choose. Because Tisdale's one of those kids, too, where if they are going to ride with Swalford, then Tisdale can go be a slot guy or something and get the ball in his hands now.
He can.
It's kind of what Bowden's working with Powell and McGrinn.
Absolutely.
You got an explosive athlete, so don't let him stay on the sideline. Give him a role.
Well, when you're in Class A football, you got to use every weapon you can. And if you've got an opportunity to have a couple of quarterbacks and one quarterback and one that can play somewhere else, that doesn't do anything but help you out.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
But Central, they were off. We said that earlier. I saw a few of their ball players tonight. Eli Somerville was walking around. You saw them. Sounded like they had a pretty decent week of practice.
Yeah.
And just talking to them and the mentality, I think they are seeing in their eyes that we feared Cedartown for so long, but now they're wanting to impose their will on Cedartown because the confidence there, just the mental side of it, hearing them talk about, no, now it's our turn, made me feel confident that they're going to go in and be ready. And you got 2 weeks to prepare for them. Yeah. And I'm thinking Eli's going to be back. So that helps them a lot moving forward. And hopefully they maybe found another lineman they could put in the mix with having to put some backups in to help them, down the road in the playoffs and stuff like that. So we'll excited to hear about that game next week. I'll check out a score in a minute. I think Cedartown played Dalton tonight, so that might be a good little score for us to check in on when we get back from break. But when we get back, we'll talk some more football, try to have a score there, and maybe talk about this Central Cedartown battle that's going to come up next week for big region game for them. So thank you for watching, and we'll be back after these commercial breaks.
Since 2005, Caliber One Construction has provided the highest level of quality, integrity, and satisfaction in every aspect of their company, while empowering their employees to address the ongoing needs of their clients in an ever-changing environment through a passionate work ethic and innovative spirit. Founders Jeannie and Chris Elliott have made a commitment to customer service and customer satisfaction. That's why Caliber One Construction goes by the motto HYPE, how you prepare every day. Caliber One Construction, proud partners of WGTV and WGTV Sports.
Inception Energy Solutions specializes in utility construction and maintenance, including distribution, substations, underground and overhead, and control wiring. They have a federal approved and accredited apprenticeship program working in 9 states across the Southeast. If you're looking for an exciting career like former Blue Devil Brody Doss or Trevor Roberts, give Jerry Pounds or Hillary a call at 404-783-8646. Also, check them out online at inceptionsolutions.com. So join the over 70 employees that have made IES their home. That's Inception Energy Solutions.
Since 1985, Osier Apparel has been a leading provider of custom apparel, specializing in corporate wear, custom t-shirts, and spirit wear. As a family-run business with over 3 decades of experience, they have established a reputation for delivering quality products and exceptional customer service to their clients. Choose Osier Apparel for all your custom needs.
Are you looking for a car, a truck, or maybe one of those popular Jeeps? Look no further. James O'Neill Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has been serving the West Georgia area for over 25 years, providing one of the largest inventories of quality trucks, cars, and SUVs in the region means you're guaranteed to find the model and trim which best suits your lifestyle. Once you settle on the perfect vehicle, meet with their team of finance experts. They can help secure you the terms and rate which best fits your lifestyle. Remember, there's no deal like an O'Neill deal. That's James O'Neill, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Bremen.
316 Family Medicine, located in Bremen and Carrollton, offers a variety of services to meet your family's healthcare needs. Their experienced providers, nurses, and healthcare professionals are dedicated to making your healthcare experience the best possible. They offer acute care, urgent care, preventative care, chronic disease management, as well as specialized services including pediatrics, sports physicals, home visits, and much more. Call to schedule an appointment today at 770-537-1234 or visit them online at 316familymedicine.us. 316 Family Medicine, a fresh approach to healthcare.
Old Fashioned Hardware Store. That's the best way to describe Messer Hardware of Bowden, Georgia. Remember when a person greeted you at the door and provided quality information and service? Or when salespeople were knowledgeable about hardware, plumbing, electrical, paint, and agricultural products? Take it further back. How about when lawn and garden seeds were scooped from bulk containers? At Messer Hardware, the best parts of the past are alive, well, and at the center of our business philosophy. We pride ourselves on offering the old-fashioned hardware store experience you grew up with. That's Messer Hardware of Bowden, Georgia.
Located on 30 Dot Road in Bowden, Arian Farm and Ranch Supply opened their doors in April of this year. With backyard gardening essentials as their main focus, there is so much more at Arian Farm and Ranch Supply. They also serve as a full-scale farm supplier, and there's even some fencing options you can choose from. So stop by Arian Farm and Ranch Supply today for some free coffee and all of your farming needs.
Whitley's Forestry Mulching and Skid Steer Service is your go-to for all your mulching, brush cutting, trenching, grading, excavator services, and more. Open in 2018, Ryan and his team have made a commitment for customer service and satisfaction. For all your mulching and skid steer needs, give Ryan and his team a call at 678-378-0683. That's 678-378-0683. Whitley's Forestry Mulching and Skid Steer Services in Bowden.
If you're looking for some of the best lemonade in West Georgia, Steve and his crew at Incredible Pope Lemonade are serving up sunshine by the cup. With an extensive menu that includes strawberry, cherry lemonade, and watermelon, the menu also boasts a peach mango lemonade with natural peach puree stirred in the mix. If you are looking for your own cup of sunshine, give them a call or follow their Facebook page at Incredible Pope Lemonade.
316 Family Medicine, located in Bremen and Carrollton, offers a variety of services to meet your family's healthcare needs. Their experienced providers, nurses, and healthcare professionals are dedicated to making your healthcare experience the best possible. They offer acute care, urgent care, preventative care, chronic disease management, as well as specialized services including pediatrics, sports physicals, home visits, and much more. Call to schedule an appointment today at 770-537-1234 or visit them online at 316familymedicine.us. 316 Family Medicine, a fresh approach to healthcare.
If you're thinking about selling or investing in your own piece of rural real estate, Cal Hardy with Arrowhead Land Company is the hardest working rural real estate specialist in Georgia. Arrowhead Land Company is a premier real estate brokerage company who has burst onto the scene nationally because of its hard-working agents, cutting-edge marketing, and grassroots values. Whether you're a hunter, farmer, rancher, or someone who appreciates the country lifestyle, give Cal a call today at 770-296-2163 to assist with all of your real estate needs.
With over 25 years real estate experience, we dedicate ourselves to doing business the right way all the time. Hi, I'm Tony Tritt, co-owner of Tritt Realty, a premier real estate brokerage serving Georgia and Alabama. Whether you're a first-time buyer, a seasoned investor or builder, or maybe you're relocating to our area to embark on a new opportunity, we want to lock arms and guide you seamlessly through the entire real estate process from start to finish. We want to become your lifetime real estate partner. Find us online at TrittRealty.com or come on by our office in downtown Carrollton and get started today.
James O'Neill Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram is a family-owned and operated dealership serving West Georgia and East Alabama and supporting high school sports since the doors opened in 1990. Whether it's sales, service, parts, or financing, we're here for all your automotive needs. As the service and satisfaction winner for the past 8 years and the #1 Ram dealer for the past 16 years, it's guaranteed that there's no deal like an O'Neill deal. If you can't make it out to see us, we'll deliver a unit straight to your doorstep. So give us a call today or visit us online at o'neilldodge.com, where we make the buying experience.
Welcome back to the Inception Energy Solutions postgame show powered by 316 Healthcare. Josh and I still here. Run through these scores one more time, and then we left you with a topic of Central coming up next week. Mount Zion, the final tonight, they come up short. Jasper County, they lose 42-7. Villarica, old horseshoe, huh? Come up victorious tonight in the homecoming game, 13-10 over Banneker. Bowden, big win tonight over Temple, 42-20. Bremen travels way up north and squeaks out a win with Ridgeland, 21-14. Carrollton, I ain't gonna say the score, 49-0 over Hillgrove. Heard County gets their first win tonight over Clarkston. Haralson County, from what we heard a while ago, was actually driving, and it was 21-16, and something happened, and the ball comes out, and North Murray scoops it up and ends up winning 28-16. So Haralson County actually had the ball with a chance to win that ball game, and luck just wasn't on their side, but hopefully they keep chopping away, put something together, and get a big win next week, get their first region win next week against Gordon Central. So we'll be looking forward to that. Central, they were off. We were talking about that before we went to the break. Josh actually snuck over, and we're sitting there saying, hey, this is probably the year Central knocks off the mighty Cedartown, blah blah blah. We'll be able to tell a lot from the score that we do look at, and shoot, if Josh don't pull up the score, and Cedartown has I guess got their second win, and they knocked off Dalton tonight. What was that final again?
35-27.
35-27, which is a huge win for Cedartown. Dalton was undefeated, if I'm not mistaken. And Cedartown, was it at Cedartown?
No, it was at Dalton. They had to go on the road.
Wow. They went on the road and beat a very, very well coached, talented Dalton team. And, connecting some puzzle pieces here, as I always say, we were all expecting Christian Heritage to be really good this year.
Yeah.
Word on the street was some of those kids packed it up and actually went and played for Dalton. So Dalton had a lot of tools in their toolbox, and Cedartown went up there tonight and beat them.
We were listening last week when we were coming back from Pepperell. We were trying to find a radio station as we were leaving, and we got a station out of Dalton, and they were doing a post-game show. And they were talking about the Cedartown game and how that it might be a bit of a challenge, but they didn't think it was anything that Dalton couldn't handle.
Yeah, well, they got all they wanted at home.
So now it sets up for next week's matchup against Central. And Central has all those weapons on offense.
Yep.
So that's going to be a good game to keep up with next Friday.
Yeah, and talking earlier before the break, getting Eli back, getting some kids healthy, getting them fresh. I mean, even like I know Walton and JR and all those guys, they really shouldn't have much on their bodies because some of those games, were games that you kind of knew they were going to win. But this is going to be a test. They were tested last week with Northgate and overcame that adversity to show that they can get over the hump and stuff don't go their way and all that. But Cedartown now, for me anyways, on a personal level, I was thinking, this is it. Central's going to be a big brother now. But now it kind of puts a whole bigger hype to the ball game again. It's like, whoa, hold up. Cedartown ain't going to play with you. So I'm very excited to see that game. Obviously, we know Central will be very prepared for it. Look for Walton to have a big game. But on the other side of it, Abrams is a very, very, very talented coach, young coach with a lot of excitement. Took him to the state championship last year. So he kind of knows what he's doing. I know they lost a lot last year.
Yeah, they did.
But I think just comparing for our listeners to kind of make sense, kind of like Bowden. Bowden struggled to find their way because they lost so much after that state title game. Cedartown lost a lot. I think they just found their way a little bit later with that win tonight, in my opinion. So we'll see. It'll definitely make for a good football game next week. So Central keep on chopping and work. You got an extra week on them. So
if you're around, I believe it's going to be played at Central.
Yep.
So Roy Richards Memorial Stadium may be the hot ticket of the week.
Yeah, especially after that score. And then, another one for a little bit outside of our West Georgia area, but it connects the puzzle piece. We talk about Carrollton on that revenge tour, kind of, that one loss. They were so close to beating Langston. Well, lo and behold, Douglas County beats Langston Hughes tonight, 30-27.
Yeah.
A huge win for Douglas County. They've always been one of those programs like you and I talk, so talented. Yeah. Oh my gosh, athletes everywhere. They always have Power 5 guys.
Yeah, they do.
Every single year they have so much talent. They played with Carrollton a few years ago a little bit, and I think Carrollton pulled away. But for them to beat Langston Hughes tonight, wow, that's all I can say.
Yeah,
I mean, that's impressive.
Yeah, it is. Shout out to Douglas County. I'm sure that was another one of those games that nobody was really expecting too much.
Yeah.
We knew Douglas County would probably be a little bit competitive, but you got Langston Hughes that knocked off Carrollton first week.
Yep.
With Air Nolan.
That's it.
And everything. And for Douglas County to pull out that 3-point victory, I mean, that's huge.
Yeah. And, for them moving forward, it's like, wow, now you've set the bar now. You got to kind of keep that standard going now. You just beat a nationally ranked team.
Yeah, you can't lay a goose egg next week for sure.
Yep.
But that's part of what makes high school football in the state of Georgia so much fun. Is on any given Friday, any team, favored or not, can go down.
Yep, 100%.
So that's one of those things where you always hear it, and it's always cliche, but honestly, you better play your best game the next game because, one slip up and it could all come tumbling down.
Yep, those predictions are just predictions.
They're just predictions.
It's just a piece of paper and scores generated and all that good stuff. That don't mean a
that's why they don't play football on paper.
That's right.
On the field.
That's right. But like he said, congratulations to Douglas County on that huge win. I mean, that's outstanding. Looking kind of down the pipe. Let me pull it up here. What we got? So as Bowden inches closer, if you're a fan trying to kind of keep up with scores and all those things, Mountain Zion is in that region, and for Mountain Zion, vice versa. Christian Heritage, St. Francis. Those are two teams you kind of got to keep an eye out for. And if I'm not mistaken, last week Christian Heritage may have had an upset win against somebody last week. I am pretty sure. I think they beat somebody that everybody expected them not to beat last week.
Well, let's just pull it up and see.
Okay. As he's finding that, we'll just say Hurd and Temple's division. Obviously, two teams you need to keep a lookout that are not local are Lamar County and Crawford County. Lamar's usually pretty decent. They got great tradition. Crawford, last year I think they beat Temple. I think they ended up finishing third in that region last year. But those are two teams you need to keep a lookout as we keep getting closer to region.
Yeah. Christian Heritage beat Pickens last week.
That's who they beat. Yeah. And I don't think they were supposed to beat them. So definitely Bowden them. That may open your eyes a little bit, Mount Zion Bowden, because Pickens ain't a bad football team.
No, they're not.
And for them to beat them, that's pretty impressive for them, So especially after they lost to Temple and all that. So definitely keep your eye on them. They may be a sleeper. As we were saying, Lamar and Crawford, keep an eye on them. That's your 4-team regions right there. Everybody qualifies, obviously, but we don't want any of our teams in this area to settle for 4th.
No, not at all.
We want to get all our teams to host. If we can go 1 and 2, whichever way, I'll let y'all figure that out on the field. But we want y'all to host games. We don't want you to travel.
That's right.
Harrelson, they lost their first one tonight in region. I see them beating Gordon Central.
Yeah.
I think in that region, Rockmart, of course, is going to be one of your top ones. You got North Murray. Model is really good this year. And Fannin County, I can't tell if they're I can't tell where they are. I know a few years ago, I think you traveled up there when they played.
Yeah.
They were daggum dudes up there.
They were.
So I don't know if they're there or there. So to me, it's a coin toss. But if you look at it for Harrelson there, they got a chance to, I'm not saying you're going to win it. I'm not against it. You could get lucky. But you got a chance to obviously get a playoff game, possibly host one. If you fight like you did tonight, playing some of these teams is going to be almost in slow-mo compared to Upson Lee and Mary Persons and all these teams.
It really will. And as you get into that region schedule, when you've got a region as big as the one Harrelson County's in, and even Hurd County Temple, they've got to play region opponents as well. And as well as I do, somebody's going to get beat up and banged up and dinged a little bit. And so Harrelson County may catch some of these teams at the right time. One thing Harrelson County's got going for them really well is Scott Peavy and his staff.
Yep.
Peavy's coached. He's forgotten more football than I'll probably ever know, and he's a good coach and a great motivator.
Yeah, and the thing that I always keep up with his summer stuff because it always intrigues me when he does the military stuff and all that. Man, them dudes are tough. He gives them no choice but to be tough.
Yeah.
But in the grand schemes of it all, I think Tom and I talked about this on the weekly preview. He trains his players and expects things out of his players that will make them better men in life. That's the bigger picture. I think this day and age, and you'll probably attest to this, all these new head coaches and all these new coordinators getting caught up with the Twitter and this, and I got to look a certain way and all that, and we're forgetting that we're leading young men at the end of the day. And Coach Peavy is a prime example of he doesn't forget that, and he don't stay on Twitter. Which shout out to you. I don't like it much either. But he takes care of his young men and he instills that in them. Just like Clay that played for him. He's a tough kid. I've known him for a while, and still to this day he's tough. I mean, he learned that from Coach Peavy, and it's like they're geared. That's the only thing that they know. Life's going to get you down. And that's another thing. He instills that in them. In life, you're going to get thrown adversity. I don't care who you are. It's going to happen. But are you going to cry, or are you going to face that adversity and take it on? And I think he's doing a great job of teaching them how to do that.
That was one of the things that I love so much about playing for Coach Hosteller.
Yep.
He was just, of course he wanted to win football games. Of course he wanted us to do exactly the right things that we should do. But he taught us, what it meant to be a man, what it meant to be a leader, what it meant to be a friend and a brother and a son. So much more than that. And that's what I see out of Coach Peavy. Just hard-nosed, tough love. But those players know at the end of the day, Coach Peavy loves them. He's going to work them and he's going to push them.
Yeah, but another thing, you know, it's funny you brought up Coach Hotsteller. Tonight I was talking to him, and I honestly thanked him for, I guess you'd say, the golden years of the Bremen-Bowden rivalry.
Yeah.
Because I got to play in it,
yeah.
you know, and I told him, you know, you're talking about great coaches, like you played for him, and I got to play for Coach Tollison, and he was another one that was like, he taught us how to be away. He had a standard, and he taught you how to be a great man and how to be tough. And then he had a great cast behind him, Coach Hodges, you know, Coach Hannigan. Still to this day, you know, and I got to work for Coach Hannigan, you know. So it's cool. I hope that continues to come back, I guess you'd say, to high school football, because I feel like I'm sitting here bragging about all these guys, you know, and you're bragging about Coach Hotsteller and the staff. But I feel like I seen this tweet the other day, and it's got me on my soapbox, but it's went to this deal where if I can be good on Twitter or as a young coach, and I just put myself in the shoes when I first started out, if I'm a young coach, in 2 weeks I learn like stuff, and now I can play call instead of working your way up and teaching young men and doing all these things you're supposed to do. Everybody's getting caught up in the wrong stuff. And they're not influencing them the way they are. So it's great. We have a great cast in West Georgia.
Coach Finley's another one.
That's what I was about. Yeah, we have him and Peavy. You know, they're two that's been around for a long time and have had to work their butts off to get where they are. Yeah. And it shows, and that's why the kids love them. You know, you're talking about Coach Hotsteller tonight. Heck, I think that whole stadium that walked by him tonight just kept shaking his hand, hugging him. I played for him, you know, just the whole people. And that just shows you that, I think he was a top 5 winningest coach in the state of Georgia. But I bet you he's not gearing it off, I got all these wins. I'm gearing it off of how successful my young men were after, you know, 10 plus years, 20 years down the road, seeing where they are. And hopefully that we continue to get good ones in this area like that we can continue to talk about.
I think we will.
Yep. And moving on down, now we're done with our soapbox. Moving on down to Bremen's region. They got their second region win tonight. Beat Ridgeland. I think for some reason I keep thinking there's a sneaky little dog in that region, and I think it's Lafayette for some reason. I've been seeing some of their scores. I don't know why I feel like they're being sneaky this year. You know, it's like you can see the weasel coming. I don't know why. I think they're going to be the sneaky one that maybe breaks somebody's heart. But we were talking on a weekly show, this could be the year that Bremen has their best chance to win that region. I mean, I think that Ringgold and Adairsville are down a little bit from where they've been in the past. You know, Bremen's in 3A. You hear people on the streets, they're going to be single A next year or whatever it might be. I don't think it really matters. I think you need to focus on your task at hand right now and quit worrying about if we're going to drop down because of the multiplier rule and all that. Because don't let what you have in front of you get away, because this could be a really big chance for them to win a 3A region, you know. So hopefully we'll see what happens with them and how their scores pan out in the next few weeks. But they're sitting 2-0, so they're sitting pretty right now.
Yep, I think Kahula Creek is another one of those teams.
Sneaky one? Yeah.
They beat LFO tonight 42-21.
Wow.
They beat Ridgeland last week 35-0. So I think Kahula Creek's going to be.
And, you know, I brought that up because I've been looking at some of their other scores, and they've been kind of competitive. But the comment I kept getting from people that, you know, follow Bremen was, oh, no, they lost a bunch last year. Though, you know, they're not going to be as good. Yeah. And then you called out those two scores, and I'm like, I know scores don't mean it all, but it kind of tells you a little bit of the picture, especially shutting out Ridgeland. Yeah. You know, it's hard to get a shutout in any game. I don't care how bad the team is. I mean, no offense to Clarkston, they scored 6 tonight on Hurd. You know, it's hard to get a shutout sometimes. So Lafayette and Kahula, there's maybe our sneaky ones there in that region. So definitely be looking at that. We kind of hit a little bit on Central, you know, in Cedartown. But Tom, I told him at the beginning of the year, I don't know if he's told you, Northwest is my sleeper in that region. Yeah. I think a lot of people are overlooking them, and they sling it around. Like, they throw it a million times.
They do.
And their OC is really, really good at what he does. I've watched him live and in color before, and he's very strategic and does a good job. Now, I think they're playing better defense than they have in the past. A few years ago when I watched them, they didn't play a lick of defense. You remember when Coach Smiley had Narada at Central?
Mm-hmm.
I watched them play Northwest. It was Narada for 80. No defense by Northwest. Northwest big play, pass play, because Central's secondary wasn't good. And it was just like track meet, back and forth, back and forth. I think there was almost 100 points scored in that game.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully it doesn't end up being one of those, but I think that'll be a very competitive game for Central, and it'll test some stuff that, you know, they probably need to have together before getting into the playoffs. Villarica, I'm sorry.
Coach Adam Treadwell, I asked him, he's coaching down at Heard County.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I said, you know, give me the details of the victory tonight and everything. He said, we finally put together a few good drives on offense. He said, and the defense ran to the football.
Hey.
So,
and it sounds like they got to the Heard County standard.
That's right. They got back to Heard County football.
Yep. And we talked about that earlier today as well, talking about Heard. I had the privilege playing against them coming through high school and all, and Coach Barron, Coach Barron and gang and all of them were there, and Heard County's just had that standard of being hard-nosed. Like, that's what you identified Heard County as.
Right.
Like, you knew immediately who you got. Heard County, oof, they're tough.
They're physical. They're tough.
And it sounds like tonight that they got back in that side of it and was running around and getting to the football, which, you know, that I've watched them play a few times, and that was lacking, which you never see. Effort type stuff is never an issue there, or just tackling little simple stuff. So it's great to see that they got back to that tonight. And if Swofford did start tonight, sounds like they put together some drives, you know. And then that's not knocking Tisdale.
No.
I made the comment today on the pregame show. He's a true freshman. He's 14. You know, he didn't get held back. He is a baby. So the pressure, I use this example, and you'll agree. Emory's played there before. Chief Borders, Aaron Beasley, you know, Huzzy, Zaylen. You got all these Power 5 kids that came out of this relatively not long ago, and now you're stepping into that type program that puts those kind of guys into college programs.
Yeah.
And now I'm potentially the next Emory Jones.
As a 14-year-old.
As a 14-year-old.
Probably not even shaving yet.
So, you know, everybody gets caught up in, oh my God, we're losing, but my goodness, he's 14, you know, and for him, hopefully, like I said, I hope they move him around and give him a different role, and heck, even let him run the ball. You ever seen him run track?
Yes.
Holy cow.
Yes.
He is a freak athlete. So maybe Swofford being a little more mature and putting Tisdale in the small roles will help them succeed a little bit more, and it might be what's best for the team.
Yeah.
So thank you, Coach Treadwell, for that, for sure. And hopefully they keep that ball rolling. VR, we kind of talked about their region a little bit earlier. Obviously, they're 2-0 right now, and the big bear in that region is going to be Creekside and Mays. Yeah.
Ooh.
The first one, your facial reaction, Creekside for sure.
Yeah.
You know, they're the bear. I'm kind of thinking Lithia and Jackson, I think maybe.
Yeah.
The sleeper. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Jackson beat Banneker. So they probably need to watch out for them too. Obviously, you'll get to see the first that one next week with Lithia. But Mays and Creekside, and this ain't taking a shot at VR in any way, but I think your best shot is going to be getting Mays to get that second spot.
Yeah.
You know, I think Creekside is just one of those teams where if you can get on an airplane and travel to California to go play a ball game,
no kidding.
But you got smacked. Let's go ahead and say that. But I think that they got a chance to get that 2 spot if they keep getting better each week. So we'll see about that. And then Carrollton, moving on down the list. Carrollton, I'm thinking that East Coweta may be the one that tests them a little bit, and Westlake, obviously.
Yeah.
Coach Zachary's there.
Coach Zachary.
He's got them going. Boy,
he does.
Him and Coach Smiley. I'm kind of jealous of him.
I know.
If you guys don't know, they used to coach in our area. One was at Villarica and one was at Central. It's like
Coach Zachary was at Central as well.
That's right. I forgot about that. Holy cow. Yeah, both Central guys.
Yeah.
Man, Sandy Creek and Westlake, huh? Talk about some powerhouses in Georgia.
They definitely are at the helm of two really, really good programs.
Yeah. Congrats.
Absolutely.
If you ever hear this, congrats.
Absolutely.
But I think that Carrollton will roll on. I think that they're looking to get on down the road and hopefully get that Bear of Buford one day.
Yeah.
And I think, fun fact of the day, I heard that Buford's quarterback, Dylan Raiola, he lost a star.
Really?
Yes, I was told that today. I think he got down here in this Georgia boy ball instead of Arizona ball, and they shaved a star off because he hasn't been lighting it up as much.
Yeah.
Which maybe that'll get him better for Georgia.
Absolutely.
So, but when we get back from the break, we'll go through these scores again. We're going to give our sponsors a shout out here at our commercial break and hit this little last segment with you. We appreciate you tuning in, and we'll have more with you after the break.
James O'Neill Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram is a family-owned and operated dealership serving West Georgia and East Alabama and supporting high school sports since the doors opened in 1990. Whether it's sales, service, parts, or financing, we're here for all your automotive needs. As the service and satisfaction winner for the past 8 years and the #1 Ram dealer for the past 16 years, it's guaranteed that there's no deal like an O'Neill deal. If you can't make it out to see us, we'll deliver a unit straight to your doorstep. So give us a call today or visit us online at o'neilldodge.com, where we make the buying experience easy.
Since 2005, Caliber One Construction has provided the highest level of quality, integrity, and satisfaction in every aspect of their company, while empowering their employees to address the ongoing needs of their clients in an ever-changing environment through a passionate work ethic and innovative spirit. Founders Jeannie and Chris Elliott have made a commitment to customer service and customer satisfaction. That's why Caliber One Construction goes by the motto HYPE, how you prepare every day. Caliber One Construction, proud partners of WGTV and WGTV Sports.
Inception Energy Solutions specializes in utility construction and maintenance, including distribution, substations, underground and overhead, and control wiring. They have a federal-approved and accredited apprenticeship program working in 9 states across the Southeast. If you're looking for an exciting career like former Blue Devil Brody Doss or Trevor Roberts, give Jerry Pounds or Hillary a call at 404-783-8646. Also, check them out online at InceptionSolutions.com. So join the over 70 employees that have made IES their home. That's Inception Energy Solutions.
Since 1985, Osier Apparel has been a leading provider of custom apparel, specializing in corporate wear, custom t-shirts, and spirit wear. As a family-run business with over 3 decades of experience, they have established a reputation for delivering quality products and exceptional customer service to their clients. Choose Osier Apparel for all your custom needs.
Are you looking for a car, a truck, or maybe one of those popular Jeeps? Look no further. James O'Neill Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has been serving the West Georgia area for over 25 years, providing one of the largest inventories of quality trucks, cars, and SUVs in the region means you're guaranteed to find a model and trim which best suits your lifestyle. Once you settle on the perfect vehicle, meet with their team of finance experts. They can help secure you the term.
Welcome back in. It's the Inception Energy Solutions post-game show, and I am Tom Araquazo, and I am joined by one of my favorite football ladies, my sister from another mister. It's Miss Tia Beasley. How are you doing, Tia?
I am great. I'm great.
You got to be doing good now. These Bowden Red Devils now. You're a big Red Devil fan.
Come on.
And 4 in a row.
Yes.
4 games in a row.
Yes.
Season started 0-2. Bowden, everybody's like, oh my goodness, our state champions have lost 2 in a row. What's going on? But Bowden has won 4 games in a row. They're putting up over 40 points a game in these last 4 games, and they're playing great. Lights out football, defensively, offensively.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about this team, because you know football good as most of us do now.
This, like you stated, we. What some would consider, we started off to a rocky start, lost 2 games to actually 2 great teams. Of course, Manchester, they're one of the top ranked teams in their classification, as well as Central, who is now undefeated. So you really can't be too mad about losing to those two great teams. And like you said, a lot of people were, the peanut gallery and was, upset because the expectation, the expectation, right?
Right.
The Red Devils have set a bar, and that's thanks to, of course, our great players in our community and our awesome coaching staff. And Finley set us up good with a good schedule for us to be battle tested, for us to be able to get those two under our belt and then go on and be on the streak that we're on now and get it done.
Well, and here's the thing. Starting the season 0-2, Bowden still got an opportunity to run off about 13 wins here and see if they can't win them another state championship. And things are looking that way.
Absolutely.
Because Bowden's schedule now is getting a little more favorable for them and how they're starting to play football right now. That's the thing, is that early on in the season, some new players and new positions, people had to kind of find and now it seems like the Red Devils have found their way.
Right. And with that, like you said early on, we've got new players. We lost a lot.
Right.
Last year, we lost our entire line, basically our entire backfield, except for Jordan and, Jamichael, who's coming out of the backfield some too.
Right.
But other than that, we have some new players, of course. We have Powell, who's contributing both coming out of the backfield now as well as on defense. And we have some players, and now they're starting to gel.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, our quarterback, he came from Alabama, and they're clicking. Now they're getting that chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
We knew it was going to take a couple of games, but now that they have that chemistry, they know each other. They're becoming a brotherhood, and I'm just excited to see, where they're going to go from there.
Well, and like I said, here's the thing, is that they're starting to show signs of the same thing they did last year.
Absolutely.
Struggled in the first two games of the year last year. They did beat Manchester last year in that first game. They still lost to Central. It was a 14-14 ball game, and then Wyndham went down.
Mm-hmm.
And when Wyndham went down, it just seemed like the whole sales of the Bowden team against Central last year just kind of went away.
It did.
And
it did.
Central rolled off 21 points in the third quarter and really never looked back.
Right.
But Bowden, the very next week, they play their arch rivals in the Bremen Blue Devils on the road, and they beat them last year 35-0. And that, to me, and Josh and I have talked a little bit about it, Kel and I have talked a little bit about it, and it seemed like that was the game that got them over the hump.
Absolutely.
It got them over the hurdle, and then Bowden started really playing great football.
Absolutely.
Brings us to this year. Lost to Manchester, had a chance to win that one, lost to Central again, then had another big win over Bremen, and now they're rolling. Now 3 more after that one. So 4 in a row for the Red Devils. And, to me, at the beginning of the year last year, I kind of predicted. I don't want to say I'm a predictor, but from day one was saying Bowden can win a state championship.
You did.
And this year, I wasn't so sure at first, because I didn't know if that chemistry was going to come together.
Right.
If they were going to mesh, if they were going to come that brotherhood that we seen from last year.
Right.
Well, it's starting to show now.
It is.
And that's why they're rolling.
Yes, and again, like I said, even tonight, they played a good game, but we made some mistakes. We didn't play perfect. Of course, and those mistakes that we made tonight, you make those
on down the road.
The road. And it's a loss.
That's right.
Like you can't fumble. We can't have those penalties, the personal fouls. Games are gonna get chippy. Things are gonna happen, but you handle it between the lines. You know what I mean? So, and you let that go, because again, those things are gonna cost you big time.
Well, and here's the thing: is that whenever you're the guy on top, you're the team on top.
Right.
They're going to have that bullseye on them.
Oh, absolutely.
So everybody is going to come after them.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, they're going to give you their best game. And then whenever you win at the end, it could get a little chippy.
Oh, yeah.
Because those teams they're out there fighting, trying to beat a state championship team. And that's what they see. And tonight, you got to credit Temple, too.
Oh, yeah.
Temple played great defense at times, especially in the first half. If they were able in that first quarter to put those first 2 drives in the end zone, you got a different ball game.
You do.
And Temple wasn't able to do that. The defense stood up, held them as far as Bowden was concerned, and kept them out of the end zone, because that first quarter really belonged to Temple.
It did.
They won that first quarter.
Absolutely.
Bowden didn't hardly have any offense numbers at all, and Temple was the one moving the ball. They just couldn't put it in the end zone. But those are the things that we talked about in our weekly show on Wednesday, and Josh and I hit on it, pregame in this game tonight, that if Temple's going to have a chance to win, they got to play error-free football. And then when they do get down inside the red zone, they got to score.
You got to score.
And they weren't able to do it in that first quarter, and it really hurt them tonight.
Yeah. Again, hats off to Temple. They came in and gave us a game, especially in the beginning. Of course, like you said, we weren't moving the ball. They did. They owned us. They had me fussing.
Yeah,
that
first
boys. Oh yeah.
They had you walking up down.
I burnt some calories tonight, Tom. I'll tell you, I did. I'm back and forth.
I know, but you were running when you seen Jordan take off.
I did. So I always tell somebody, I'm tired tonight. I did a lot of blocking, a lot of running, I caught a few passes with him. You know what I mean?
Called 4 or 5 plays.
There you go.
Timeouts you had to call.
I did. So, but yeah, like again, hats off to Temple. Of course. Like I said, they came and we knew they were going to come and do everything they had to give us a ball game, and we should expect that. Nobody should go into any game expecting to win, because that's when you get lax, and that's when you end up getting your tail whooped. You know what I mean? You go in there thinking you won something. So yeah, Temple's got some great players. Those guys, I hugged a few of them tonight. There were some if you're listening or watching, he was coming out of after halftime. He was like, "Hey, Miss T, hey, Miss Beasley," and bless his heart, I don't know who the kid is, but respectable kid, of course. And I would like to think people know me I love the game. I'm gonna talk. However,
get you a big old bow pile and stir that pot.
I'm gonna stir it, baby. However, they know as well that I love the kids, and I would like to think that the kids love me, and they showed that tonight. There were some Central kids there tonight. Shout out to Cam and Cam Bolton and Aiden. They gave me a hug on the Big B tonight. So again, like I said, they know Miss T is gonna talk trash, but I love the kids.
It's all fun and games. It's all
game.
For the fun of the game.
Yeah, all's fair in love and football, right?
And love and football. But
go.
see, that's kind of the thing, though, Tia, is we as fans, we get caught up in some of that stuff because it's so much fun and we have a good time. But we all genuinely love all these kids.
And those kids, they do each other.
Right.
You know what I mean? So and that's how I know most of them, too, because of Jordan, because Jordan is actually friends with them.
Right.
So like you said, as parents, we get in our feelings sometimes, and at the end of the day, these kids are still going to be friends, So, like I said, it's just I love the game, I love the kids, and I love my Bowden Red Devils.
You love them Red Devils.
I love them Red Devils. Gotta love the Red Devils.
Well, Bowden's on a roll. They've won 4 in a row, and of course, Kel and them have went through all the scores and all that good stuff. But me and Tia's going to wrap it up here, and we're going to get on up, get on out of here.
Get on out of here.
It's time for us to saddle up and ride. Again, thanks to Sal and Kashia and Kel, and thanks to Josh Stitcher, my girl Tia Beasley. My man over here got his Batman shirt on. I don't even know his name. And then I got my man Nick over here, Sam's House Barbecue. Feeds us good, man. We love Sam's. You know where it's at. It's on the square in Carrollton. Go see Nick. Tell him Tom sent you. Walk in the door and ask for Nick. Tell him Tom sent you, and I promise you, he'll charge you 10% more than what you need to pay.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands. But like I said, it's time for us to get on up, get on out of here. It is time to saddle up and ride. Make Jesus famous, y'all. God bless you, gang. Good night.
Are you looking for a car, a truck, or maybe one of those popular Jeeps? Look no further. James O'Neill Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has been serving the West Georgia area for over 25 years, providing one of the largest inventories of quality trucks, cars, and SUVs in the region means you're guaranteed to find the model and trim which best suits your lifestyle. Once you settle on the perfect vehicle, meet with their team of finance experts. They can help secure you the terms and rate which best fits your lifestyle. Remember, there's no deal like an O'Neill deal. That's James O'Neill, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Bremen.
316 Family Medicine, located in Bremen and Carrollton, offers a variety of services to meet your family's healthcare needs. Their experienced providers, nurses, and healthcare professionals are dedicated to making your healthcare experience the best possible. They offer acute care, urgent care, preventative care, chronic disease management, as well as specialized services including pediatrics, sports physicals, home visits, and much more. Call to schedule an appointment today at 770-537-1234 or visit them online at 316familymedicine.us. 316 Family Medicine, a fresh approach to healthcare.
Old Fashioned Hardware Store. That's the best way to describe Messer Hardware of Bowden, Georgia. Remember when a person greeted you at the door and provided quality information and service? Or when salespeople were knowledgeable about hardware, plumbing, electrical, paint, and agricultural products? Take it further back. How about when lawn and garden seeds were scooped from bulk containers? At Messer Hardware, the best parts of the past are alive, well, and at the center of our business philosophy. We pride ourselves on offering the old-fashioned hardware store experience you grew up with. That's Messer Hardware of Bowden, Georgia.
Located on 30 Dot Road in Bowden, Arian Farm and Rent Supply opened their doors in April of this year. With backyard gardening essentials